For the most realistic steering system available on the market, look no further than Sim Steering from Leo Bodnar. Designed and hand-built at the home of British Motorsport's Silverstone circuit, it's extensively used by professional driver training centres and race teams including Formula 1 since 2010. The high precision and completely linear response coupled with high strength provides the ultimate in realistic steering force feedback. Visit simsteering.com.
Take your hobby to the next level with a quality racing rig that works great with a PS3, Xbox 360, and a PC. The GT Omega Racing Simulator is compatible with a wide range of steering wheels including Logitech, Fanatec, Thrustmaster, and more. The GT Omega is available now worldwide by going to www.gtomegaracing.com.
And good evening everyone, welcome to Apex Racing TV's broadcast of the Skip Barber 2K Cup. We are at round 5, Okayama International Circuit. Well and truly looking forward to this round here in Japan of what has been a great little season so far. My name is Lee Thompson, and this week joining me in the booth, double duty with the cameras, is Alex Simpson. Good evening, Alex.
Yeah, good evening, Lee. Good to be here.
Yeah, our wishes and thoughts go out to my normal partner in crime, Conrad, who's unfortunately had to shoot back to South Africa to go and see family. So our thoughts are with them all. But back in the iRacing session, we are in the first laps of qualifying and waiting for the drivers to put in their opening attempts.
Yeah, it looks like provisionally. Actually, I'm not sure anyone's stuck a lap in yet. No. Just looking at the live timing, it looks like Simon's probably going to be the first person across the line, but not 100% sure on that one. Also, just looking at the mini map at the moment that's up on screen. Actually, we're running the full Okayama circuit today. It's a very underused layout, I think. Lee, great circuit. Hosted some Formula 1 in the days gone, but it's a nice little track.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was, I remember as an iRacing newbie, it was a nice little discovery. Finding that there's this long version when I'd only been exposed to the short one before. So no, it's great. Good little variety. Got fast sweeping corners towards the beginning of a lap. Long back straight, tightens up towards the end. Pretty technical. Different cambers. Not really a huge amount of elevation change really, apart from maybe turn 4 as you kind of dip down and sweep back up again. But certainly cambers, and I think for these Skip Barber cars, turns 6 and 7 seem to be pretty tricky as they're a bit off camber.
And also, just having a quick look at the weather out there as well, the sun is beaming down on the track, clear skies out there, so track might get a little bit greasy towards the end of the run. I think tyres get a bit hot and worn, so we'll keep an eye out for that. Guys making little mistakes.
So during the broadcast and in between, guys, remember you can contact us at on Facebook and on Twitter at Apex Racing TV. So feel free to leave any comments, ask any questions. We'll do our best to get back to those. And meanwhile, we've had those opening attempts for the first lap of qualifying. Remember, they've got just 3 laps to put in their qualifying attempt, and currently Ricardo Ferreira is at the top of the standings. He's had a good race last time out at New Hampshire when he got on the podium, and he'll be looking to improve on that, I'm sure. Simon Hulbert, meanwhile, was the fastest car in practice, and he's currently provisional P2. And so this is Simon a little bit further up the grid than we've seen him in previous races. Maybe he's been sort of just in and out the top 10 in qualifying, and has had a little bit of bad luck, I think, so far in the races. So he looks like he's got a bit more of a pacer this week.
Yeah, Sebastian Job back from his holiday as well, so good to see him on there. Well, no, they've just changed around again, so 3rd place again, so both himself and Simon just went a little bit faster, but not able to knock Ricardo off the top spot. Saying that, Vinicius Roger just puts in the fastest time of the session at the moment, so it's looking quite close up there between them all. LJ Garnett in 5th and Bart Delat 6th.
Yeah, it looks very close. So we've got less than a tenth of a second between the top 4 runners at the minute, and the guys have already improved, probably matching pretty much what they managed in their practice session leading up. So that's a pretty good attempt just from those first 2 laps. We've got pretty much names that we're familiar with all the way through. apart from, as I look down the field, Paul F. Grillo, who isn't a name I don't think we recognise, Alex, but certainly the drivers in this series seem to recognise him. So he, I think, is going to be perhaps a name to look for as he settles into this series and perhaps makes his way up the field during the race.
If I'm not mistaken, is he not a previous Skip Barber official series champion?
There you go, an unknown name to me then, perhaps not so much to Alex. So yeah, so definitely a number to keep an eye on, number 29. And I think now we're going to be waiting for these cars to come over the line for completing their final attempt. I can see Philip Labour just coming out of turn 10, or coming into turn 10, and then through towards turn 11 as they look to put their final attempt in. 45.773 by Vinicius Rocha is currently the target speed.
Having a very quick look at the championship standings at the moment. Philippe moved back up to the top spot after last week. Obviously the standings here are best 3 of 4 showing, so, and then Sebastian obviously missed a week, so dropped down to second, with Ricciardo moving up to third. Vinicius dropped actually down to 4th place. Could have probably moved up a spot, but he unfortunately made that mistake late on in the end of that race at New Hampshire. Graham Carroll's moving himself up into 5th as well.
So for now, Simon Hulbert has cemented his place at the top. He was the fastest in practice, and currently he's 400ths of a second ahead of the second place Vinicius Rocha. That would be their final laps completed. It's just a matter of seeing whether there's anyone else out there who could improve. We have got Paul Grillo still on a hot lap. We've got LJ Garnett stopping on track. I don't think he's going to improve any further. Mancusi's finished, so I think of the names that are out there, it's looking to see if Paul Grillo can move himself up any further. But otherwise, I think those top places are cemented. And so Paul is just halfway through the lap at the minute. And we have got Rich Jones, who's just completed his lap. He's qualified for now in 25th. Rob Adams, who's also just halfway through the lap as well. So it's Paul Grillo going to be next across the line. He's a little bit blinky on my screen, so hopefully he doesn't have too many problems in the race.
Yeah, same here. So as we've seen in the past as well, if drivers have a little blink as they go across the start-finish line, it can cause them not to count the lap. So you'll have to be a little bit careful of that as he drifts a little bit round the final hairpin. I think he's probably going to abort this lap, is he? Yeah, he comes in the pit, so obviously not great.
And so we've got Rob Adams still continuing his lap as well, so we'll confirm where he is going to finish, and in fact he's also pulled into the pits now. So we have now got our qualifying results. So congratulations then to Simon Hulbert getting first position, a couple of bonus points for qualifying first with a 1 minute 45.733. That time was just fractionally quicker than what he managed in practice. As I said, that was 400ths ahead then of Vinicius Rocha in second. Ricardo Ferreira just a couple of hundredths behind again in third. Sebastian Job in fourth. Kevin Vaughan, and he'll be happy with that qualifying, I think, in fifth position. Philip Labour, winner last time out and current championship leader. Perhaps I'd be a little bit disappointed being down in sixth, as will previous race winner LJ Garnett in seventh. Bart Delat in eighth, who had a little tangle in the last race at New Hampshire. Ninth position is returning Mancusi. 10th position is Sebastian Taper. 11th is Paul Grillo, so as I said, perhaps a name to be watching as he pushes through the field. 12th is Graham Carroll. I think he's going to be a little bit disappointed as well. He's been in and around the podiums in the previous races. I think he's sporting yet another livery for the third race in a row here this week. We have then got Chris McGowan in 13th, Faham Antoinades in 14th, Marco Derrick in 15th, Dominic Brennan 16th, Clive Armstrong in 17th, Enzo Casta in 18th, Daniel Pelaz in 19th, Matt Defoe 20th, Christian Manzini 21st, Ludwig Perenez 22nd, Bill Lawrence 23rd, Dan Nygaard 24th, Rich Jones 25th, George Wiseman 26th, Ove Persson 27th, Ron Charrett 28th, Rob Adams in 29th, Victor Ansenzio in 30th, and the very last qualifier is Mike McCormick in 31st position.
Reasonable turnout again for this one. It's great looking at them as they're sat on the grid like that. Just a few drivers to make their way out now.
It's a relatively fast turn one in the grand scheme of turns one, but it does narrow up well from this quite wide main straight, so we'll be hoping everyone's able to funnel themselves into that first corner pretty happily before it then switches back for turn two. I'm looking at Simon Hulbert here lined up on that front row with Vinicius Rocha alongside. Vinicius is going to have the inside line for turn 1. We'll see what kind of launch he managed to get. Alright, revs are starting to build now, just waiting for those green lights. Round 5 of the Skip Barber 2K Cup, and we're away. All of the cars just squirm slightly off the line. Simon Hulbert gets a good start. Vinicius Rocha just dropping back ever so slightly, but he's going to hold on to that second position. And the first 3-4 cars all stay as they were. I think Philip Labour just tried to go around the outside of Kevin Vaughan on turn 1, but he didn't manage to improve either. LJ Garnett looking to sneak up the inside now of Philip Labour through turn 2.
Yeah, looks all clean further back as well. Nothing going off through turns 1 and 2, so good start.
Here we are into the first heavy braking zone as I watch Philip Labour get a little bit deep initially, but manage to control it well. Very, very different lines between all of the midfield runners as I look back through the camera there.
Looks like Mancusi and Taper as well having a little bit of a battle out there, so straight on drag down the back straight.
Simon Hulbert already having to defend, ready for turn 5. Vinicius Rocha goes much deeper on the brakes, tries to carry straight round the outside of Simon Hulbert. He's going to have the inside line now for turn 6, and Vinicius Rocha moves up into first position, I think. But Simon Hulbert still hangs around the outside. He's got the momentum on his side now, but Vinicius Rocha hangs in that inside position still, and they're still side by side. And Simon Hulbert finally takes that position. Oh, Vinicius Rocha now defending hard from Ricardo Ferreira, hard braking into turn 8. Just about getting themselves around. Sebastian Jobs looks to capitalise and go around the outside of Ferreira as well. All side by side, touching the wheels.
Yeah, great driving from the front 4 there. Actually, looked like all the squabbling let Job get a run on all of them at the moment. Moves himself up into 3rd quite cleanly.
Yeah, Sebastian definitely the winner there. Philip Labour has jumped ahead of Kevin Vaughan as well, so LJ Garnett is looking now to make that position on Kevin Vaughan as well, move up into that 5th spot. I see cars defending down the back straight in the midfield as well. I'm looking, I think it's going to be Fahim Antoinette looking to take the inside line into turn 1. It's going to be a brave move into there, fairly deep, but he just manages to back out of it in time. I think this circuit is going to be a great little track for watching these cars go.
Got a little bit of wheel-to-wheel action there. Fahim there just on the outside of turn 2. Decided perhaps better to live and fight another day and try and squeeze a little bit too tight going around that corner.
LJ Garnett tries to take the inside line of Kevin Vaughan coming through turn 4. I think he's going to just about get the slipstream from Philip Labour ahead, which might just allow him to pull in front. Simon Hulbert not feeling the need to defend quite so much from Vinicius Rocha this time.
Yeah, almost
but then I say that
3 wide, going into the hairpin further back as well.
And Vinicius Rocha does take the position from Simon Hulbert, so Simon Hulbert didn't defend, but Vinicius Rocha just outbraked him straight through. We've got loads of changes of position here at the front. Yeah,
it looks like Sebastian made a little mistake, got a few wheels onto the grass going into that tricky little left-hander after the hairpin. He's trying to battle back past Ricardo here.
He was right to bail out of that early. Meanwhile, in the background, Kevin Vaughan still desperately trying to hang on from LJ Garnett, pressuring himself to tuck in behind Philip Labour, and finally LJ Garnett managed to get by Kevin Vaughan. Great work by both the drivers there to fight as long as they did, but in the end it was LJ that got along with Philip Labour. What a great opening couple of laps. So Vinicius Rocha P1 as they cross over the start-finish line to begin lap 3. P2 is Simon Hulbert, 3rd then is Ricardo Ferreira, 4th is Sebastian Job, 5th then is Philip Labour, 6th is LJ Garnett, right behind in his wheel tracks is Kevin Vaughan then in 7th, Bart Delat in 8th, Michel Mancusi in 9th, and Paul Grillo, that name to watch perhaps, is currently in that 10th position.
I was talking to the lads before they started qualifying, and they were saying actually it's quite difficult to break the draft here, so I expect we'll see some big trains throughout this race.
Yeah, just with a couple of incidents for the front cars, they've just broken apart a bit, but I see then Simon Hulbert had a much better turn 4 there than Vinicius Rocha. He's right back on his gearbox again, so I think Simon Hulbert has got the opportunity to make a move if he wants to. Further back we see 5th place and back in that long train like you described. Philip Labour defending hard from LJ Garnett as they head in towards turn 5. And LJ Garnett trying to hang around the outside of that hairpin, but it's not going to quite carry him enough momentum. He might have a bit of a dive here, he does, into turn 6. Philip Labour just about able to give him enough room, almost touching wheels then as they turn into turn 7. And LJ Garnett now has moved into 5th position, relegated Philip Labour down to 6th, but Philip's got the run. LJ Garnett defends hard. Very, very tight between all of these cars here. Oh, a little tiny bit of contact. Yeah, just Kevin Vaughan and Philip Labour.
3 wide going into the right-hander there as well. Bart Delat on the inside, he might take the advantage there. And I think Philip's going to jump into the pits as he's a bit worried that he might have got some damage, but I think there's so much going on that he just wants to get out of that. We saw that in previous races actually, and seemed to work quite well for him.
Yeah, I think it's too early though to be his one and only stop. I think lap 9 is when we're expecting the pit window to open, so he did have rear wing damage on my screen, and he decided to
Mancusi up the inside of Vaughan there as well. Vaughan seems to have some front wing damage, so that's he's struggling out there with that. And Paul Grillo as well, starting to make his way up. He's sitting in P9. He's just behind Vaughan at the moment, looking to have a little run. So we hear someone going a little bit wide in the background.
Yeah, it was unfortunate that little tangle there between sort of 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th. Yeah, they had a great little battle going on, but that's just been blown apart now with that bit of damage and with Philip Labour pitting. Kevin Vaughan now really is struggling, he's losing more positions. So that Philip Labour's decision of pitting that lap early looks to have worked out. Fahim Antoinades looking to go up the inside now of Paul Grillo as they head towards turn 6. They're 3 wide, almost interlocking wheels, and Fahim Antoinades manages to get the car slowed down enough and makes that position. Kevin Vaughan trying to go around the outside of Grillo, but I don't think it's going to quite have a drive.
Yeah, Vaughan's struggling out there a little bit at the moment, just slipping further back as this race goes on. I wonder actually if that tiny little bit of damage on the front wing isn't affecting him. I know it doesn't make too much difference in this Skip Barber, but occasionally it can get a little bit of suspension damage off of it as well. Maybe he picked up something that we didn't quite see on camera.
The front 3 cars are just closing back up again now, so Vinicius Rocha runs just a touch wide through turn 10. Simon Hulbert may be able to get a better run out of the last corner, turn 11 now, as they head down the front straight. Simon Hulbert right in the gearbox. It's just about whether he wants to sit in that slipstream or whether he wants to press on, but he wants to press on. He goes up the inside now as they're heading towards turn 1. And he turns in quite early, takes that apex, and now Vinicius Rocha needs to be worried about Ferreira looking to capitalise as well. Meanwhile, Sebastian Jobs just half a second back.
Yeah, good clean move there from Hulbert. Sebastian actually, just with that little bit of fighting, moves himself back in within the 1 second barrier, so we'll be firmly picking up the draft again. As Vinicius has a little look into the first of the hairpins, but nothing going this time. Actually got a pretty poor exit, and Ricardo's got a run this time. He's going to pick up the slipstream of Hulbert in front as well.
Yeah, it's easy to get drawn into that braking in turn 4 there and just overcook it a bit on entry, which is didn't get Vinicius that drive. They're almost 3 wide. It ends up heading into turn 5 here, but just a slight touch there maybe between Simon Hulbert and Ferreira. Might have got away with it. I don't see any damage. The angle wasn't quite right on my screen, but Hulbert, then Ferreira, then Rocha, and Sebastian Job now's right back with Rocha, making this a 4-car group again.
Yeah, these front 4 pulling away at the moment. In the background actually looks like there's quite a good fight between, who's that? That's Bart Delat and Michele Mancusi. Mancusi up the inside. If Bart Delat can hold it around the outside, he'll have the advantage for this corner. He's still there, just enough. Actually, I think Mancusi's done enough. He should get a better run out of here. He does indeed. Has that position.
So yeah, Mancusi up into 6th place now. Good improvement from his qualifying spot. Meanwhile, just a couple of cars further back, got a good little battle continuing between Fahim Antoinades, Paul Grillo and Kevin Vaughan. So Antoinades is running maybe slightly stronger pace than maybe he's managed in the last few races. He's been maybe sort of 10th place and back in the previous few races, so he's going to be happy with his pace here so far at the beginning. Looking further back down the start finish line, we've got a huge group, Alex, from P14 sorry, all the way back to what, P25 or so. So led at the moment in 14th place by Enzo Cantor. Yeah, going all the way back to P28, which is of person. That's a huge group of cars that are all together there.
Yeah, huge gaggle there So I don't think I've seen one quite sort of train quite as long as that in this series so far. So that's what the guys said to expect. It'd be really difficult to break away, and it just seems like from 14th Enzo back, they're all running pretty similar pace out there.
Yeah, and I think Enzo's going to be under pressure now as they head down that back straight. I think it's going to be Christian Manzini trying to hang around the outside of turn 5, and Bill Lawrence wasn't quite able to capitalise. He got a good exit out of the previous corner, but he got a bit boxed in. He had to tuck him back in at the end.
Yeah, very aggressive defending there as well, almost hugging the white line on the way in. Definitely not the fastest way around the circuit, as Enzo struggles through the double left-hander there as well. So all this heavy defending is just costing them time to Matt Defoe, who's ahead of him, just about 3.5 seconds up the road at the moment.
Right, so looking back up to the front, we've got this top 4 group still all pretty much nose to tail. So we've got Simon Horbert with Ricardo Ferreira looking to have a little bit of a nose into turn 1, but he's not close enough. Vinicius Rocha then in 3rd, Sebastian Job in 4th. In no man's land at the minute is LJ Garnett then in 5th, hoping that they continue to squabble ahead and he can close that gap. Michel Mancusi now in 6th with Bart Delat in 7th. They're going to try and tow each other around to catch up with LJ Garnett. Then Fahim Antoinette is just breaking away a little bit now in 8th, with Kevin Vaughan now in 9th and Grillo in 10th. So Kevin Vaughan's gained a position there. Paul Grillo must have had a bit of an error somewhere. They've lost a second or so to Antoinette.
I have to say, after looking at the last few laps, it does look like LJ is actually slowly drawing himself up to these front guys. Just a couple of tenths of a second each lap, but as the front 4 just get very close. I'm not sure who that was. Was that
Ferreira?
Was Ferreira on the outside?
Yeah, it looked a little bit of movement from both of them, and yeah, it looked like they were going to make severe contact, but they just about get away with it. Ferreira moves up into 1st position, Horbert relegated to 2nd.
But yeah, so from LJ's point of view, more of that, please, and he might indeed catch up with this pack.
And saying about Mancusi and Bart Delat looking to draw themselves up towards LJ Garnett. In fact, they're very quickly being caught by the cars behind Antoine Adez, Kevin Vaughan and Paul Grillo. So we've got a 5-car battle now developing between 6th and 10th. And jumping back to the chaos that we were watching before, P14, still Enzo Cantor is doing a great job of defending for all of his cars behind. So they really are backing into each other still, causing this big group behind them, all the way down into, say, sort of 28th position or so. But Enzo Cantor doing a great job, and in fact, he's missing front wing on my screen, so perhaps that's going to account for why he's having to defend so hard.
Yep, same here as well, so doesn't look like a graphical bug, which is, like you say, why there's this huge pack behind him. Not able to take the speed into the corner, and actually just gets a little tap from behind from Manzini there, and that could well oh yes, rear comes round, everybody needs to avoid him, he's on the racing line there, nowhere for him to go, and everyone just keeps ploughing into him.
Oh, it's a real shame that was looking like a great battle that was going to develop between all of those cars, and there had to be an error at some point. It's just a shame the car came to rest, yeah, I said, pretty much on the racing line. So it's going to ruin a few races, unfortunately, and it's going to blow that little group apart.
Just jump on board with the leader for the moment. Fastest man out there at the moment, set fastest lap last time by.
Yeah, Ricardo Ferreira was a good chunk quicker than everybody else there, really. So 45.468, significantly quicker than what we've seen so far, I think. So everyone else was running more like high 45. Sebastian Job at 45.7, LJ Garnett at 46 flat. So Ricardo Ferreira really just trying to give everyone the hurry up now. And we're getting to the point, as I see Ricardo Ferreira run very wide out of that final corner. We're getting to the point now where that pit lane, that pit stop window is now going to be open as they begin lap 9. So we may start to see a couple of differences of strategy if anyone feels that they're getting held up, squabbling away in a group at all.
Just so we know that we are sure what Philippe did as well, he just literally had a splash. So I'm guessing
He's definitely got to put it again.
Yeah, he got some damage and whatnot, and he needed to get it fixed. Knew that he had the fast repair, so just took it there and then.
Bartolot and Mancusi battling away, allowing Antoinades to close right in as well. They head towards turn 4. Bartolot looks up the inside, heavy braking. Oh, Mancusi turns straight in across him, gives them very, very little room. They just about get away with interlocking wheels, and they're going to be 3 wide as they head down that back straight, heading towards the hairpin at turn 5. And Antoinades seems to be the one that feels like he's got the momentum. He's taken the inside line, trying to push up alongside Bartolot. Bartolot defending hard, and looks to go up the inside again. And Mancusi gives them a little bit more space this time. They're going to hang on side by side. Mancusi's going to have the inside now for turn 6, and he's defended that position well.
Such a great track for that, actually. Just the way, the layout, it means you can sort of hold on around the outside as well as the inside, so it's tricky to get a move done. You need to be really committed and carry the speed, otherwise your opponent's just going to come straight back at you.
And looking back up to the leaders, Alex, we are missing one Ricardo Ferreira, so I'm seeing now Vinicius Rocha with a little bit of front wing damage in first, Simon Hulbert with a little bit of wing damage in second, and Sebastian Job then in third. Ricardo Ferreira is down now behind LJ Garnett, so LJ Garnett in 4th, Ricardo Ferreira tucked right up behind LJ Garnett, then in 5th, and then the group we're looking at after that.
Just having a look at the replay now, Lee. I've jumped back about a minute or so, so this might take a little while to come back up, but I wasn't sure where it all happened, so thought that was probably best. Looks like Hulbert got a little bit close going through the double left-hander, but nothing going there. So, but they're really battling hard going into the first of the sort of the left. Oh, and that is where it is. Yeah, so going into the first of like the left-right switchback area, and it looks like Ferreira got a tap from behind, sent him spinning, and Hulbert, yeah, that's where he had his damage on his front wing, and Vinicius as well got caught up in that. So. I think actually LJ now probably close enough if we just jump back live to pick up the draft as well.
Yeah, well, Ricardo Ferreira's moved back ahead now of LJ Garnett as they headed towards turn 5, so he's looking to close back on that group again, led by Vinicius Rocha. We've got a real squabble going on still between Mancusi and Bartolot, interlock wheels. Got a right tangle between the two of them there. Kevin Vaughan's going to capitalise. They've both got a little bit of damage, I think. Bartolot might get away with it, but Mancusi's struggling, I think.
Yeah, just trying to hold it around the outside there. He's definitely going to lose the position here. It's important. I don't know, we've seen Mancusi hold good speed around the corner, like here. He's managed to keep himself up the inside. They're still battling hard at it, but I think might lose
Kevin
this
Vaughan's got that done
here.
now, and Mancusi comes into the pits, so he's in that pit window. Any damage that he got there, he can get fast repaired straight away. For him, Antoinades also comes into the pits.
I was about to say who was that who followed him in as well, and Paul Grillo as well, slowly moving himself up. He was right on the back of that little pack while that was squabbling, so he managed to catch up with them as well.
Yeah, so it's a shame with a little tangle there. I cut to it a little bit late on my camera, so it was difficult to see really how that developed, but it just looked a little bit clumsy maybe from both drivers. It kind of felt like they both just drifted towards each other as they were heading between turn 6 and 7. Meanwhile, back up front, Vinicius Rocha practically being pushed down the straight by Simon Hulbert as they head towards the hairpin at turn 5. Vinicius Rocha's gone pretty defensive already. Hulbert alongside. Hulbert tries to push Vinicius across a little bit, not allow him to come back to the racing line too much, and it's going to be a real squeeze between the two of them now as Hulbert tries to hang around the outside. And again, we've got the switchback effect again, like we were talking about. Hulbert's just about hanging on to that apex still, just carries the momentum. Sebastian Job right back in there as well. Vinicius Rocha carries good speed through that last corner, is going to drive out the corner well and holds on, but contact.
Looks like Sebastian just got into the back there of Hulbert, and I'm not sure if that was like a little bit of netcode or something like there, because that was a really strange reaction.
Yeah, that was tough. It was so tight between those three cars there as they were moving back and forth. So my camera angle was a long shot looking down the straight towards them, so I couldn't get to see how close they seemed on my screen. But as you said, for the car to spit straight across there, that was extremely unlucky for Hulbert. There could have just been a little bit of damage.
Yeah,
Right,
there doesn't
so
appear to be any damage on the front of Sebastian's car as well, so it does look like it might be a case there, but I'm sure the drivers will review it, as will the officials after the race.
yeah, Simon Horbert's really not had any luck in his races so far. I think he's had contact pretty much every race that I've seen him run so far, I think, and he's going to be really disappointed, I'm sure, especially after that much stronger qualifying. So, now we've had a little bit of a shuffle around. We've got Vinicius Rocha leading us in first, Sebastian Job half a second back in second. Ricardo Ferreira now, after that squabbling ahead, has almost caught back up with the leaders, with towing along LJ Garnett then in fourth as well. Quite a way back then, a good 5-6 seconds back then. We've got Bart Delat next in 5th, Kevin Vaughan in 6th, Paul Grillo in 7th. We've got Clive Armstrong, who we haven't mentioned at all yet, in 8th, with Matt Defoe currently in 9th. I think he was 20th on the grid, I seem to remember, so that's a good position for him so far. And the top 10 car now is Daniel Pelez.
Yeah, Matt perhaps not qualifying like he wanted to, currently sat in the top 10 of the championship, so he'll he'll want to push on a little bit from here and see if he can maybe sort of get himself into top 8, top 7, consolidate that position. That huge, sorry Lee, yeah, that huge pack that we had earlier on has pretty much split up as well now, so a lot of pit stops going on now, a bit further back.
Yeah, and we're pretty much in this phase of the race now where we're waiting to see how these pit stop strategies are going to develop. I think lap 14 is the lap that everyone needs to be pitting unless someone thinks they've done a great job at saving some fuel and they've squeezed it out to lap 15. So we're just about to begin lap 13 now, and the four leaders for now hang on.
Looks like Philippe just made a little move down the back straight into the hairpin on Manzini as well. And actually Ricardo just flashed up on my screen. Ricardo setting the fastest lap of the race once again, so he's flying out there even with that little bit of rear damage that he picked up. Doesn't seem to be slowing him down any.
No, definitely doesn't, and so he's had a strong couple of well, in fact I was going to say a strong couple of races, but strong races from round 2 onwards really. So 4th position, 5th position, and then 3rd place on the podium last week out at New Hampshire, so he's looking to improve on that again and get closer to that top spot, I'm sure. As I see Vinicius Rocha desperately trying to break the toe of the cars behind, weaving back and forth. Sebastian Job, as close as he's been for a long time now, getting right into the gearbox of Rocha. Sebastian Job gets very close to the back of Rocha as he switches back to the outside line for turn 5. It's not quite going to work, and it's allowed Ferreira to close right back up on him on the apex.
Now we've seen Sebastian in the past just sort of hold in the draft, saving fuel, and not really pushing the tyres too much as Rocha just gets a little bit squirrely coming out of there. But I don't think Seb can do that this week. He's far too much under the pressure from Ricardo behind, so I think if he gets the opportunity to get by, he will take it.
Yeah, Sebastian Job definitely looks like he wants to take any move that's available, and Vinicius Rocha and Sebastian Job, late call for Sebastian Job. Ricardo Ferreira planned a bit earlier, all into the pits. LJ Garnett is the one car who continues on for another lap, so very late call there from Sebastian.
Yeah, I don't think LJ could react to it. If Seb was super late as well, he perhaps just caught it from the corner of his eye what the other guys were going to do and decided to jump in. Let's just keep an eye on these guys in the pit, as it's effectively the for net lead position. Just see, we've seen some position changes in the past. So. Yeah,
and I think Ricardo Ferreira had a very slow pit lane entry. I remember from jumping in the F1 car here the other week that there's a speed limit board, isn't there, Alex, way before the actual cones, and I wonder, it looked like to me that Ferreira was doing the pit lane speed limit way early.
Yeah, he still sat in the
yeah, lots of time lost from Ferreira. Bart Delat is going to be right with Ricardo Ferreira. Mancusi in fact jumps ahead of Ferreira. Did Ferreira have a slower stop last time to New Hampshire as well, I think?
Yeah, I'm just looking at the times actually. I mean, 17.8 seconds. That's about 5 seconds slower than what Seb was there. So that's obviously not a speeding penalty or anything like that. I'm just trying to remember if you just bleed out past that white line after you take the right-hander there, whether or not you actually get a timed penalty like a stop-go, or whether or not you have to come back in or not. Can't seem to remember.
Yeah, we'll have to wait for the post-race, I think, to find out exactly what went wrong there for Ferreira. But yeah, he's not having much luck in these pit stops. As I watch LJ Garnett to see if he comes into the pits now, he does. Takes a late turn in to try and carry as much momentum as possible. Just about hangs on to the edge of the track, and LJ Garnett in for his pit stop as well. Yes, I see. In fact, on the camera angle, what I was trying to remember. Yeah, there's a white line with a 60 board, way before the yellow cone that we actually use in iRacing for the pit limit. So it did feel that he was quite slow going in anyway. Everyone else is in as expected. So Kevin Vaughan followed by Paul Grillo, and meanwhile back out on track, Matt Defoe has carried on round. So Matt Defoe, I'm hoping, is feel like he's done an amazing job at saving some fuel, because they weren't expecting to get to lap 15.
Yeah, 9 laps to go as he crosses the line. Let's have a look. LJ's still in the box. He's been in there quite a while compared to Seb. 16 is that? Yeah, 16.6 seconds. So he's lost quite a bit of time there. And
Sebastian Job is well and truly the winner from the pit stops there. So he's jumped ahead of Vinicius Rocha. So he pitted just a couple of car lengths back from Rocha as they went into pit lane. But now he's a good half a second, 3/4 of a second ahead. Whereas LJ Garnett is, yeah, good, what, 3-4 seconds further back again. And then behind him, next car up then is Mancusi, with a very angry, I'm sure, Ricardo Ferreira looking to move up. He's looking to go up the inside already as they head towards turn 4. Not much space given by Mancusi through the little kink. Hard on the brakes now into turn 4. And Mancusi turns in, gives just barely a car space again, side by side as they drive out. And I think Ferreira's going to get the drive out the corner, but Ferreira now up into 5th position.
Looks like Bart Delat's just watching that from a little bit further behind, just thinking, come on guys, just get into each other, I'll take up that 5th position, thank you very much.
Whereas
still round the outside, Mancusi goes.
Mancusi came back at him, inside line now for the switchback for turn 6, and he's got that position held, so it looked like that was done and dusted to me there down the back, the main straight, but Ferreira now was the one under pressure from Bart Delat. And so Matt Defoe pits into that end of lap.
Oh, Ferreira, a very late dive into the first of the hairpin, and actually I think Mancusi's got a bit of damage from that, so not sure he'll be at all happy with that move. That was very late, and actually looks like he's retired as well.
Yeah, Mancusi has disconnected from the server. Ricardo Ferreira promoted into that 5th place, with Bart Delat now hoping that perhaps Ferreira's got a little bit of damage as well and he can move up again. So we'll get another look at that at some point, I'm sure.
Matt Defoe does make it out of the pits as well, so he must have saved an absolute boatload in that first stint.
Yeah, he was way back in the field, I guess, so he was wasn't able to push as hard as he might have been early on. Vinicius Rocha feels like he's closed up just a fraction in that last lap on Sebastian Job, and yeah, he was 0.3 quicker, so we'll keep an eye on that, see if that continues in a similar theme. Meanwhile, Bart Delat has jumped ahead now of Ricardo Ferreira, so Bart Delat now is the car up into 4th position, with Ricardo Ferreira now in 5th. Kevin Vaughan isn't a million miles behind the two of them in 6th, Sebastian Taper then in 7th, Fahim Antoinedez in 8th, Clive Armstrong 9th, and we have Paul Grillo in that 10th position.
Paul lost quite a few positions in the pits first race. We know actually from the drivers that they don't just put the minimum amount of fuel in, they actually manually stop it as well, and it looks like that's a trick that Paul's going to need to learn, because his pit stop was the slowest one out there.
Yeah, and Ricardo Ferreira was Bart Delat has a big sideways moment through turn 7. They're going to lose a lot of drive coming out now towards turn 8. Ricardo Ferreira tries to push his way up the inside. Bart Delat brakes as late as he dares, misses the apex, but he's going to have the inside now for turn 9. So Bart Delat quite lucky to hold on to that position. Kevin Vaughan now is almost with him.
Yeah, Vaughan looking on, happy to see those guys battling as hard as they are.
Back up front, Sebastian Job really is under pressure now from Vinicius Rocha. I said Vinicius was 0.3 quicker last time by. That time he was at least half a second, nearly 0.6 of a second quicker. So Vinicius Rocha is feeling good now on these not fresh tyres, I probably didn't take tyres, they just fuel, but after the pit stop, and he is well and truly looking to push on up into that 1st position. He has got the time now not to worry about somebody behind us, so he may just be patient and sit in the slipstream for a while, we'll see.
Yeah, I think you know, these guys have raced each other so many times, and they've played this game out at Silverstone already this season, where Seb just sat there in the driving seat second, knew that he could make a move at any point where he wanted to, and I wonder if it's Finch's time this time. Although he is having a little look down here, so perhaps he's very close with the
interlocking wheels again. And Vinicius Roche has a massive power slide come out of the turn 5, full marks for style, but it doesn't get him to drive out the corner, and in fact runs just slightly wide then coming out of turn 6 as well.
Yeah, so that pretty much rules out what I was saying there. He's going to go for it. He wants to lead as quickly as he can get it. I think yeah, I'm not sure about you, Lee, but I think if I was in his position, I would just put Sebastian under an absolute boatload of pressure and just wait for the last couple of laps and then make my move then.
Yeah, we haven't got a huge amount of laps to go already, so they're about to complete lap 17 of 23, so time will be running out fairly soon, but as you said, it certainly doesn't look like Vinicius is interested in hanging about. He feels he's substantially quicker maybe, and he just wants to get straight ahead and break away. LJ Garnett has closed quite a bit now on these couple of cars, but it's going to take something fairly dramatic for him to be able to close up significantly. Sebastian Job successfully defends into turn 1. Meanwhile, strolling back down the field, Bart Delat is still in that 4th position, with Ricardo Ferreira looking to regain a couple of positions again in 5th. Kevin Vaughan then is well and truly with Ferreira in 6th. Jumping back a little bit further, we've got a little group developing as well between Paul Grillo, Clive Armstrong and Matt Defoe, all fighting for 9th position.
Just having a look at some battles a bit further down as well. Manzini seems to have been in battle pretty much all race, this time with George Wiseman just ahead of him. Slowly working his way up to him as well. Actually, last time he lost a little bit of ground on George.
Going to cut in again, Alex, as Vinicius looks to go around the outside again at turn 5. Again, they're interlock wheels, and a little bit of netcode, I think, cost Vinicius there. And he's had a little bit of half spin. Sebastian's going to let him catch back up again and allow him to.
I have to say, I wasn't sure that was netcode there. I think they just didn't give him quite enough room. It's a tough one to say, actually. They were battling pretty hard, and Rocha did have the entire left-hand side of the circuit available to him, so just wanted to pin him in on that white line, and Seb wanted to come across there. So definitely a racing incident, I guess, but yeah, good sportsmanship from Seb to slow down and continue that battle. Yeah,
so it looked very, very tight between them. Interlocking wheels for the second lap running was always going to be risky again, but as I said, the battle is still on. Sebastian Job, bit of sportsmanship, as you said, tries to negate that benefit he had. Bart Delat still leading the little group then for 4th position. Just a couple of attempts between those 3 cars, Ricardo Ferreira, Kevin Vaughan. For him, Antoine Adez is still running in that 8th position. He was looking maybe a little bit stronger earlier on in the race, but he's got a chance of catching up with Sebastian Taper in 7th.
Yeah, 1.9 seconds back, actually 2 seconds as they crossed the line, so lost a little bit of ground that time, and actually he's starting to have the gap closed down on him by Paul Grillo as well. So Paul out there quite quick at the moment. He's within the draft area as well, so we might see him just zoom up like Rocha did to Job earlier on.
So again, we're seeing Vinicius Rocha closing the draft as they head down that back straight towards turn 5. Not close enough really to make a serious move this time by, I don't think, but just positioning himself again, ready for next time round, I think.
I think Sebastian wants his teammate to join in on this as well, because at the moment he's the only thing that Rocha is focusing on out there, and if LJ can close back up, then he's got a good run this time. As Rocha is going to have a look around the outside, nothing going this time. But yeah, if LJ can close back up, then he's not only has he got to pay attention to what's ahead of him, but he's going to have to keep a little watchful eye on what's going on behind as well.
Yeah, I think this little battle is really going to explode in these last couple of laps now as time runs out for him. It's going to be a bit more do or die maybe for Vinicius Rocha. He didn't have a great result last time out with a little spin and a disconnection, but he's been there and thereabouts a podium in each of the previous races, right up at the sharp end of the championship.
As the camera just flicked back very briefly to the battle between Vaughan, Ferreira and Delat. Those guys just as close as they have been through this second stint of this race.
So Vinicius Rocha has successfully hung onto the gearbox of Sebastian to head towards turn 4 now. He just needs to focus on a bit of slow in, fast out for the corner to make sure he gets that drive onto this massive back straight of the circuit. And they take very different lines. I think Sebastian's not going to get the drive out the corner. He ended up a little bit wider than he planned, and Sebastian is going to have to defend hard again.
Yeah, chooses to defend the inside very early there, as we can see a little bit of a squabble going on behind them as well, but side by side going into this corner.
They give each other much more space on the approach that time. Vinicius gets a good drive out the corner. He might just still hang on now for turn 6. He tries to turn into the apex, but Sebastian gives him the squeeze and holds on for one more lap.
Yeah, good driving from Seb there. He obviously had the confidence that Rocha wasn't going to do anything a little bit silly going into that left-hander, so he just took his normal line. Could have easily been curtains there if Rocha just stuck his nose in a little bit more.
And the battle between Bart Delat, Ferreira and Vaughan is hotting up now as well. There's just a car length between all three of them, and Bart Delat is really the guy under pressure, just needing to get a couple more clean laps in, and that'll be his strongest result of the season, 4th place.
Raheem as well, coming under pressure from Paul. Paul's now just 0.6 of a second behind, so 3 laps to go. I think he's going to get up to him. Whether or not he will get past is it's hard to say, because Raheem there is also closing in on Taper as well.
So again, I'm switching back to our battle at the front again as they head towards that turn 4 again. Vinicius Rocha has a late dive up the inside into turn 4 braking zone, but I think maybe it was just to try and distract Sebastian from his racing line. And again, very different lines on the exit from the two of them, and I think we're going to see the same again. Vinicius Rocha is going to have the drive to get up alongside. He's going to have to go around the outside again, as he has done in previous laps. Sebastian Job hugging that white line, Vinicius Rocha leaving it as late as possible to move out. Again, they give each other plenty of space in the braking zone, and Vinicius has not got enough momentum to carry him around the outside this time.
Yeah, unlike previous rounds where we've seen people be able to draft past easily alongside, seem to be struggling just here at Okayama. That back straight actually is shorter than what you think, and I think that's probably what Rocha's just struggling with. He perhaps needs another 100 meters or so, and he might just have the opportunity to get past. It's going to be a bold move when he goes for it.
Yeah, and as we've seen lap after lap, if he's going to do it there, it's going to have to be around the outside, and it's all about then keeping that enough apex speed so that then he can still be alongside for the next corner, and that would really then give him his potential opportunity of getting by. Switching back to the battle for 4th, it's still as we were. Bart Delat, Ferreira and then Vaughan all just nose to tail between 4th, 5th and 6th. Just like you said, Alex, this group behind is cloven up as well. Sebastian Taper's getting drawn into the back of Fahim Antoinades, and he's got Paul Grillo car length behind now in 9th. And Matt Defoe's got a chance of moving up as well. Clive Armstrong in 10th, Matt Defoe in 11th. There's just a car length between them two as well.
Yeah, anything could happen. Just 2 laps to go. This is where the guys are going to want to start making their move.
So Vinicius Rocha takes a more conventional line on the approach this time. Sebastian Job manages to get a... So I think Sebastian Job takes a similar wide line to normal, but Vinicius Rocha goes much wider than he has done in previous laps. And he's going to require a lot of draft now to get up alongside. He might still just about have enough to get there. So Sebastian certainly feels the need to defend. Vinicius Rocha looks to cut to the inside and then cuts back to the outside again. Again, I don't think he's quite going to carry enough momentum. He has to tuck back behind for now and wait for either a mistake from Sebastian or one more lap's worth of turn 5 and having one more chance.
A tiny little bit of out of shape going into that left-hander there. Rocha might have a little look down into this hairpin. Just
he does.
His nose out.
He's alongside. He late dive moving in. You can take very different lines there, but Sebastian, I thought we were going to have contact again. Swings out to the left for the entry for turn 9, but just about keeps enough gap between them. Sebastian Job going to have to defend hard from Vinicius now on this last lap. I think this is where we're going to be focusing now for this remainder of the race. One final lap remaining.
Yeah, great race so far. Battles going on all over the place. Nothing has changed further back. That 4th, 5th and 6th are still Delat, Ferreira and Vaughan. And it's still Taper, Fahim and Paul Grillo for 7th, 8th and 9th.
Alright, so Sebastian Job, Vinicius Rocha now heading through turn 2. Tricky corner this one. It's easy to get on the power a little bit early and just understeer wide. Vinicius takes a little bit of gravel, but that's pretty much the racing line here. They're heading now towards this turn 4. Tricky braking again as normal. Vinicius makes a late dive to go up the inside. He does just hang on to the inside. Sebastian isn't able to take the apex. That might allow Vinicius a bit of a decent run off the corner, but Sebastian has got half a car length as they head onto this back straight. Vinicius is going to sit in that draft again. This is perhaps his last and best chance to get by.
Yeah, I think Sebastian knows he's going to have to defend really aggressively.
Vinicius doesn't give him the space this time.
Yeah, I was about to say, he's been given a lot of room these last few laps, not this time though, and actually I think that's pretty much done as he gets a little bit out of shape but has a little look. And nothing coming there. He's definitely lost the momentum now, so as long as Sebastian doesn't put anything, do anything wrong, I'm sure he's got this race wrapped up.
Alright, so switching back then, Bart Delat almost getting in contact with Ricardo Ferreira as they come through turn 7. He's just about held on for now. Kevin Vaughan might have a good run on Ferreira if he wants to take a dive into turn 8 now. He does. Kevin Vaughan looks to go up the inside, but Ferreira covers him off. Bart Delat, then Ferreira, then Vaughan. So back up front, Sebastian Job's got this sealed now. Jumping back to Bart Delat, Ferreira and Vaughan. I think they're done as well. And Fahim Antonelez has lost out to Grillo. So coming over the line, Sebastian Job takes this first position from Vinicius Rocha. Great battle between the two cars for those last, 10 laps or so. Third position then, a lonely second half to the race for LJ Garnett. Bart Delat does hold on to that 4th position. Great result from him. He'll be very happy with that, I'm sure. Then it was Ferreira, then it was Vaughan, and then we've got Sebastian Taper then coming across the line in 7th. Grillo hung on to that 8th position after getting Antonelez on the penultimate lap. Clive Armstrong then is in 10th. Matt Defoe had to settle for that 11th position in the end. Philip Labour, a disappointing 12th after his damage early on and having to make an extra pit stop for repairs. George Wiseman then in 13th. Next car up then is Chris McGowan in 14th. Victor Asensio in 15th. Ludwig Perenez then in 16th. Marco Derricks in 17th. Daniel Pelez in 18th. And then coming over the line still now is Dan Nygaard, in 19th position. Rich Jones then in 20th. Rob Adams then 21st. Ov Persson in 22nd. And Christian Manzini out of fuel. And he's about to come across the line in 23rd, I believe.
Good actual recovery drive from our league host there as well, Philippe Labour. Could have been so much worse, but 12th with 2 stops, not bad going at all.
Yeah, it would have been a few points for him at least to try and consolate his championship standings a little bit, but say disappointing no doubt for him. Yeah, we had some big guys today miss out on some decent points. So yeah, Philip Labour, our championship leader before this round, just hasn't scored the big points here. Neither has Graham Carroll, who was in 5th. I think he retired early on. He doesn't seem to have had a good time out here either. And Matteo Brancini, who was 6th in the standings, he finished a little way down as well. So yeah, I think we're going to see some significant movement in those championship standings once they get published for the next round.
Yeah, I agree. Those good week for Sebastian and Rocha there as well. So consolidating their positions in the top 10 and probably moving up a spot in the same process. Right, hopefully we'll get someone pop up for a quick interview at some point. Just having a quick look now, see if I can just bring up a little recap of the start of the race.
Yeah, it was a great race. It was pretty much non-stop all the way through, wasn't it? We had little group. Well, we had a big train of cars from 14th all the way back to 28th, and then great little groupings of 3-4 cars elsewhere. Yeah, it was unfortunate for the guys that we did have a number of contacts really between different cars in different positions, and it was driving so close is always going to be tough when they're on the limit. But Yeah, we'll see if there's any stewards' investigations, any warnings, any penalty points or anything given out. But it was definitely exciting.
And we're joined by Roger up in the commentary box. Congratulations on podium position. Battling hard for the second stint of that race. Just couldn't quite find a way around Sebastian there. Just tell us a little bit about the race from your point of view.
Oh, it was, how can I say? I don't have words for that because it was really, really one of the most tight races I had. Racing with Sebastian Job is always good. We usually race during the official sessions from iRacing, and I knew it was going to be hard because it's not the first time that I am behind him and I really can't pass him. He's really good at defending his position, and I have to thank him also because there was one incident after the long straight where accidentally he hit my, I don't know if it was the front of the rear wheel, and he noticed that maybe it could be his fault, and then he slowed down, and it was nice fair from his part. So thank you, Seb. And what can I say, the first stint of the race we had so many incidents, so many people hitting each other. That's of course needs to be reviewed. But anyway, I'm really happy with this result. A podium, second place. It's awesome for me with this level in the grid. So I'm pretty happy with that and looking forward to the next race. Thank you.
Yep, thank you very much for that. I'll look forward to seeing how well you do next week. Just at this point of the season, obviously it's quite not quite halfway through it, but you know, are you driving with a mindset towards the championship? Obviously you're right up there now, but I dare say after this week you probably jump back up into second place.
Oh yes, of course, I'm the front. Yes, I was from last week's my race was really poor. I was in front and then I got distracted for a second and ended up in spinning. But I'm still in fourth, and let's see after this result what's gonna happen, if I'm going to go back to second or third. But of course, I'm aiming to the championship. You have a chance. So let's see what happens.
And obviously, just you were saying about Sebastian defending well there. I mean, this Okayama circuit sometimes has been known for being difficult to overtake. Did that perhaps play into the hands of Sebastian today as he got that good pit stop?
Yes, I guess he managed to save some fuel when he was following us, and then he got out of the pits in front of us. It was a really nice pit stop. I could have gone out from the pit earlier, but in order to be safe until the end of the race, I filled a little more my tank, and well, congratulations for him for his strategy. It was really nice.
And we're at Barber next week. It's quite a similar track as well. Quite difficult to overtake, I would think, even in the Skip Barber. So, what's the approach going to be for that race?
Yeah, that's a good question because I've never raced it before there. I have the track. I have practiced it for 1 hour, but I really have never practiced it there. So I still have a lot of work this week until the next weekend, and let's see. I'll try to have a good quali. If I have a good qualification, things might go well.
Well, wish you all of the best of luck in that one, and let's see if you can take that extra step and get on the top spot of the podium there.
Thank you.
Vinicius Rocha there, P2 today. Pretty delighted, but I think I definitely wanted that win today.
Yeah, it was important for him to, winning wasn't everything, was it? Yeah, it was important for him to get those points, and that was the main thing. That even though there was a bit of trouble between the two of them towards the end, at least he still managed to get that second position and yeah, well and truly keep him absolutely in the hunt for that championship. As you said, second or third position is where we're expecting him to come out, I think.
I think we might also have Philippe for an interview as well. I'm not 100% sure. He's looks like he might not have a mic or whatnot attached at the moment. So let's see if we can drag him in and just see if he unmutes himself and we can have a quick word. I'd like to know why he pitted early, if he got some sort of damage. Are you there at all, Philippe? I think we're muted. Just bear with us just for a moment, just see if we can get him in. Otherwise we'll jump off for the moment. It doesn't look like we're going to, which is a bit of a shame. It'd be nice to have a word, find out exactly what happened that caused him to pit early, because I think it's going to have cost him the lead in the championship. So
yeah, I think I think he would have told us that it was a bit of rear wing damage. I remember seeing as he went into the pits after contact between himself and Simon Hulbert, I think it was, wasn't it? But yeah, a bit of rear wing damage, I think, is what cost Philippe there, and he probably made quite a sensible decision of diving in straight away and not losing him any more time at least. So yeah, we'll look forward to seeing everybody again back at Barber, and 15 laps there it will be. As you said, it's going to be another tricky circuit for him, I think. Lots of elevation changes, I think, is the main difference at Barber, maybe compared to Okayama here quite so much.
It seems like he's just trying to sort his settings out at the moment. So, tell you what we'll do. We'll go for a quick commercial break, and we'll come back and see if we can grab Philippe for a quick chat.
Take your hobby to the next level with a quality racing rig that works great with a PS3, Xbox 360, and a PC. GT Omega Racing Simulator is compatible with a wide range of steering wheels, including Logitech, Fanatic, Thrustmaster, and more. The GT Omega is available now worldwide by going to www.gtomegaracing.com.
Okay, so it looks like we're having a few technical glitches here. We will grab Philippe hopefully next week. Yeah, Lee, I have to say a little bit of a rough and ready around the edges in places through this race, but overall really good one.
Yeah, it was a great race to commentate and great race to spectate. But as you said, I think if I was out there, I can imagine I would have perhaps been a bit frustrated at times with different incidents and bits and pieces, but it seemed a bit of a luck of a draw as to whether you got through or not. But great race. Okayama is a great little circuit, good cars for it as well. High class of driving for the most part, of everyone desperate to not give an inch and push as hard as they can. So we look forward to more of that entertainment for the next rounds as well. Thank you, Alex, for your double duties on the cameras and commentary. Remember, you can check us all out on Facebook and on Twitter at Apex Racing TV, and we'll plan to see you all again next Sunday night for round 6 from Barber. Thank you very much.